I'm here with an onion and some honey and a mason jar, and I'm making some homemade cough syrup. Counter cooking. No kitchen, no problem. I've been under the weather for the past week. I'm dealing with some kind of summer cold or flu. And yesterday I had a pretty bad cough, and when I went to go to sleep, I was coughing a lot and I had a hard time falling asleep because I had like a tickle in the back of my throat and I just kept coughing. So I was looking up some home remedies online, and I came across a homemade cough syrup, and it only has 2 ingredients. It's onion and honey. And what you're supposed to do is cut up the onion, put it in a jar, and then pour honey on it and kind of layer it, and then just let it sit aside for a while. And then it creates like a cough syrup type liquid, and then you take a teaspoon of that. So right now it's about 10 a.m. I figured, let me do this now, and by the time I go to bed tonight, I should have some cough syrup in this jar, and I'll see how it works. Here's my mason jar, and I'm adding some chopped onion to it. They say you just want to layer the onion in the honey, so there's some onion. And you could use any kind of honey. I'm just using what I have on hand. And I'm going to pour some honey over the onion. Can you see that? And I'm adding some more onion. There's another layer of onion, and I'm adding more honey. That's what it looks like. There's more onion. I'm not measuring this, I'm just kind of putting some in there. And more honey. I think that looks good. And I think this is going to be enough for me as an experiment to try this out. They say that this can last in your refrigerator for a very long time, years even. So I'm going to put a cover on this, a lid, and that is it. I don't need to stir it or shake it or do anything. I just need to put this aside and let it sit. And I'm going to come back to it later tonight. The lighting on the video is going to look very different, but we'll see how it looks later. And if I still have a cough, I'm definitely going to test it and see how it works. So this is homemade cough syrup. I have a lot of books about natural health and herbal healing, and I was just looking through this one. It says Polish Herbs, Flowers, and Folk Medicine. This is actually the second book I picked up to look through to see if it had anything about onions in it. And here on page 199 is the section on onion. And it talks about how onions were used to treat ulcerous and hard to heal wounds, boils, and sores. And also, one of the oldest Polish home remedies for treatments of colds and sore throats used the juice from an onion. There is an entire generation of Polish Americans who can still remember being treated for their coughs and colds by their immigrant mothers or grandmothers with an onion syrup. The onion syrup was also recommended for children who were wan, listless, and had a poor appetite. Polish herbalist Stefan Falomierz suggested onion syrup for hair growth by massaging the head with it. He also recommended that syrup from the onion dropped in the ear reduces sharp screeching noises in the ear. And this is the recipe that they give. For onion syrup, finely chop an onion, put in a jar and add 2 tablespoons sugar or honey and mix together. Cover. Wait 6 hours or overnight until the onion releases its juices. Ingest 1 tablespoon a few times a day for adults and 1 teaspoon for children. Here's another book. This is called American Folk Medicine, originally published in 1973, and this is from 1985. And if I go to the page on whooping cough, it says take 2 wine glasses of vinegar, 2 of honey, 2 of water, and 1 onion sliced. Simmer 1 hour, dose 3 teaspoons night and morning for a child 8 years old. So that's using onion, honey, but also vinegar and water. It's kind of similar. And this is the section on coughs, and it says a teaspoon of hot honey taken every quarter hour will break up the worst cold in 1 day. It will also relieve severe spasms of asthma. And then here it says take 18 ounces of good onions, and after removing the rind, make several incisions, but not too deep. Boil together with 14 ounces of moist sugar and 3 ounces of honey in 35 ounces of water for 3/4 of an hour. Strain and bottle. Give 1 tablespoon slightly warmed immediately on attack, and then, according to needs, 5 to 8 teaspoons daily. This is the honey onion syrup. About 12 hours later, I made this around 10 a.m. and right now it's about 9:30 p.m. So it's almost 12 hours. What has happened is that the honey has pulled liquid out of the onions. So it's made like a honey onion syrup. And I'm going to try this now and see how it works as a cough syrup. I have been coughing a little bit this evening, not nearly as much as previous days. So I'm going to just be curious to see how this makes me feel. Will it be soothing to my throat? Will it make me not want to cough this evening? And will I have a coughing fit when I go to bed like I did yesterday, or will this stop that? So we'll see. I just opened it up and smelled it, and it definitely smells like onions and honey. And these are raw onions, not cooked onions, so it's pretty strong. The taste is not too bad at all. The honey really cuts down on the pungency of the onion. I mean, I definitely taste onion, but it's not like I'm biting into a raw onion or anything like that. All right, so I just took a teaspoon of it, and we'll see what happens. It's now the next morning, and I slept amazing. I had an amazing night's sleep. Probably the best night's sleep I've had in like a week since I've been sick, and I don't know if it had to do with the onions or what. I did not cough much at all last night. I was able to fall asleep without having a coughing fit or anything like that. I woke up this morning and I was coughing a little bit. So I said, let me take another teaspoon of this onion syrup, and then I'm going to start getting ready for my day. I definitely feel like consuming the onions has decongestant properties. This is what it looks like after sitting overnight. I'm going to take a teaspoon of it. It actually tastes like the flavors have mellowed out more today than yesterday. Like it's not as oniony as it was yesterday. So we'll see how it does as far as coughing in the morning. I'm just going to take it in the morning and then maybe again at night if I need to.